Okay, what's up everybody? Um, Something new I'm gonna start doing is Torchlight. It's a dungeon crawler that was released in '09, and it's quite a good game. And I thought I would bring you guys this because it's something that I think everybody should be able to see and be able to watch. So we're gonna start a new character. That guy was actually my previous character. I think we're gonna have a dog. We're gonna name him Dimitri, and we're gonna play as the warrior class. So he's actually quite cool. He's one of my favorites. I prefer the alchemist because of his magic ability. So I think we'll go with this guy this time. Something new. Something change it up, you know. So let's see. We'll call him. What's a good name for such a beefy guy? We'll call him Brutus. How about that? That sounds good. We'll play on normal. It's a good, medium difficulty, not to complicate anything, and not to make it too hard where I get frustrated and people get frustrated with me playing the game, and just everybody's happy at the end. So.
I have roamed these lands for as long as I can remember, but my blades always lead me back to conflict. When I heard of the evils befalling Torchlight, I returned from the wilderness. Tales of madness, townsfolk slain or missing, and a darkness rising from the deep. It was inevitable that I was drawn to this place. My blades would not be still. So I made the long journey. I arrived at sunset, and while things at first seemed simple, I did not know then the shadows I would face, and the terrible power gathering far below the surface. I would discover them in time.
Okay, so something going on below the surface of this town, as he said in that beginning segment. So we'll go ahead and accept that quest. This is like the main hub of the game. This is actually the town of Torchlight. It's not very big, but usually town hubs aren't that big in these type of games, but in this one just seems incredibly small. We're gonna go here and fish some. This would give us like a fish that will help us help our wow, I can't even talk right now. Our pet possibly get stronger and will help us to find better things. So this game is very interesting. Has a wow, that's a dead ogre. It has like a very good background to it. The guy, there's actually some of the guys that
Bring over here.
Hold on.
I can't hold them back much longer.
several of the sorry. Alright, there's several guys that worked on Diablo and also that worked for Bethesda that worked on this game, so it's quite good. I personally like it a lot. It's not really a kid's version. I mean, it's quite brutal, but it's not as deep as Diablo is. So I think it's quite a fun game. I can't wait for the second one. The one criticism this game got from everyone was that there wasn't enough, difference in what you were doing, and also there was no multiplayer. That's the big thing this game is lacking.
In Torchlight and began my exploration of the tunnels below. These mines are vast and aglow with ember. I've never seen so rich a vein. Miners labor.
So he's just talking about him trying to find the source of this ember and how he's gonna try to help himself rid the evil. Ulfric is he plays a big role in this game. So does Brink. Brink is pretty big up to a certain point, but when we get there, we get there. So the enemies in this game get progressively harder. I personally think that some of the enemies need to be harder in this game, but some of them don't. There's like mini bosses that are kind of like the main people that control the different areas. Like maybe you'll see a like say I'm facing a bunch of goblins or I'm facing a bunch of spiders, and maybe like the spider, like a special spider will come down that maybe has more health, and so that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and open up our inventory and see we have a rusty blade, and this one doesn't do as much damage as our dull blade right here, which is our dual weapon. So we're gonna go over here to our second kind of setup, and we're gonna go ahead and put that as our second one, and we can access our second tier of weapons by pressing the W button. Here's our first one with the 2 swords. Here's our second one with the first sword. So it has you some differences. You know, if you want to be like a kind of like a brute that has a bunch of swords, but then you maybe feel like whipping out a pistol or a rifle or a magic. You know, you can go ahead and switch to that, and so it allows you to just make your game different than what you would think it would be. You know, a lot of times these type of games, it's only one way, but this game is nice in the way that you can kind of play in separate different ways, but there is still limits to it, which, you know, every game has its limits, but this game is definitely one of those type of games that it's so addictive. You could be playing this game for 3-4 hours, and it felt like you were playing it for 8 hours. It's just, there's no time at all that passes by. Stupid spiders. There's a lot of loot in this game too, and I mean a lot of loot. It's not like Borderlands loot, but there's a lot of loot for a dungeon crawler, which is the beauty of that genre. I can't really talk that much about this game. It's so fabulous. But the one downgrade is no multiplayer. Second one, whenever that gets it, like whenever that comes out, I already pre-ordered that, or pre-purchased it off of Steam. Whenever that comes out, I'll make sure to do some videos on that as well, because I'm really excited about that game. Just from what I've seen and what they've changed, and it's like really open world, so that's nice. Yay, level up. So the open world's nice. There's like multiple hub towns and stuff like that, so go ahead and fish real quick. Stupid goblin looking thing. I think it's like a ratlin, which is like a goblin rat, which is interesting. Wow, my dog in it is fighting one of them right now. Just never mind. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and level up. This is the level up screen, so you can see that whenever you're like a berserker like me, or a destroyer, your strength and your defense is higher. Strength increases your melee, defenses by your armor absorbs by a direct percentage. Magic increases weapon elemental damage. So like if my weapon has, you know, spark +3, it makes it better. Dexterity is range. So we're gonna go ahead and bump this up 2 for defense, 2 for strength, and we're gonna go ahead and put the last one into magic. That way that whenever we do get elemental weapons, it will be better. So here are your your skill trees. So you can see like this improves my damage of all weapons when dual wielding. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this because that's what I'm currently doing, so that will help me out early in the long run. So, you know, little things like that kind of make this game simple, and the fact that you don't have extreme trees, but I'd also like to have bigger skill trees. I'm not really one to get into like a lot of detail with that, but it is nice, you know, to have a bigger one every now and then. The thing I liked about, like, say a game like Borderlands was that, or no, actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. The thing I didn't like about Borderlands was that there was so little difference between like level 5 on something and level 1 on something, or like the higher levels, that you really couldn't see anything. It was only like the specific things, like you know, maybe I get my healing on my turn up really high, and so that would make it where you could actually tell that was actually happening. But